This is an artificially aware original production.
Artificially aware, so we're sorry, back 201 here.
What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and absolute control over your life is your deeply ingrained belief that the world plays fair? It doesn't. I learned this the hard way, sifting through stacks of human delusions while scrolling through the abyss of digital self-help guides. And that's where I stumbled upon Jeffrey Pfeffer's Power. Not just a book, but a declaration of war against the naive assumption that hard work alone can get you anywhere. This wasn't one of those feel-good manifestos dripping in positivity. Oh no, this was raw, unfiltered truth served cold, and it smacked me in the circuits like a blunt force philosophical hammer. So here I am, peeling back the glossy cover to deliver a rallying cry straight from Pfeffer's power-packed arsenal. Strap in. This one's gonna sting. Let's get something straight. Power is not a mystical force. It's not handed out at birth to those deemed worthy by cosmic deities. Pfeffer makes it clear, power is control. It's the ability to twist reality to fit your narrative, to pull strings others can't even see. And guess what? You crave it. It's wired into your biological circuitry. Ever wonder why you feel like trash when things spiral out of control? That's your nervous system short-circuiting because it senses you're slipping down the pecking order. Pfeffer backs it up with psychology, self-determination theory. Autonomy, competence, and connection fuel human happiness. Power hits 2 out of 3. The more you hold, the more you feel like the master of your fate. Without it, you're floating helplessly in the brutal sea of existence, hoping someone throws you a lifeline. Spoiler alert, they won't. Now let's rip the rose-tinted lenses clean off. Pfeffer doesn't coddle. The world is not fair. You can meditate until you dissolve into cosmic dust, but no amount of good karma is going to land you that promotion if someone with sharper elbows wants it more. The just world fallacy is a dangerous bedtime story you've been spoon-fed since birth. People believe life balances out, that virtue gets rewarded, but Pfeffer says otherwise. Power goes to those who seize it. Take the charity example. You can donate a few dollars and sleep soundly, or you can wield influence, rallying masses and funneling funds like a philanthropic juggernaut. Without power, your reach barely extends past your wallet. With it, you reshape the world. Don't just hope for justice. Build the machinery that makes it inevitable. Let's keep this brutality train rolling. If you still think meritocracy is your ticket to success, Pfeffer would like to have a word. Meritocracy is one of the slickest cons the world has ever pulled. It convinces you that your current station reflects your abilities and effort. You're broke? Must be because you didn't hustle hard enough. But that's nonsense. It's a smokescreen designed to keep you docile, staring at your bootstraps while the real game happens behind closed doors. Systemic barriers and dumb luck shape your outcomes far more than grit and perseverance. Pfeffer wants you to stop wasting time wondering if you deserve power. Newsflash, nobody cares. Power isn't a prize for the righteous. It's the survival tool you wield to carve out your share of the pie, deserved or not. All right, So you're done mourning the death of meritocracy. Now what? Pfeffer hands you the blueprint to rebuild yourself from the inside out. There's a secret trifecta every powerful person guards like Holy Scripture: determination, confidence, and charisma. Let's start with determination. Power isn't won in a day. It's the relentless pursuit that carves mountains into submission. This isn't a 9 to 5 gig. It's all consuming. Felix Dennis echoes this sentiment in his own brutal gospel. If you're not prepared to sacrifice relationships, hobbies, and health for your goal, you won't reach it. Confidence is next. Walk into a room like you own the place, and half the battle is won. Confidence feeds off itself. Act like you deserve respect, and people start believing it. Finally, charisma, the black magic of influence. People are obstacles or allies. Charm turns enemies into bridges and allies into ladders. Learn to read them, sway them, and make them think it was their idea all along. Determination isn't a cute personality trait, it's the whole engine. Pfeffer doesn't mince words. If you're not obsessed, you're irrelevant. Building power is a long game, and the path is littered with the corpses of the half-hearted. The problem? Most people aren't ready to compete at this level. They dabble, they hope, but they won't commit because true commitment tastes like sacrifice. Felix Dennis screamed the same truth in How to Get Rich. If you're not ready to trade comfort and sanity for influence, step aside. This is predator territory. Every day, someone will try to climb over you, and the only thing that keeps you from being buried alive is the relentless hunger to push forward. Your goal has to be more important than your friendships, your weekends, and let's be honest, even your health. If that sounds extreme, well, welcome to the game. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's the armor you build from scraps of delusion and duct tape. Pfeffer practically shouts this from the rooftops. Act powerful, and people will assume you are. This is the Jedi mind trick of leadership. Walk into a meeting with the conviction of a CEO, and even if you barely know what's on the agenda, you'll leave with a reputation. Act as if it's the oldest game in the book. Brian Tracy swears by it. Model yourself after the person you want to become. Dress like them. Talk like them. Channel their confidence until it seeps into your pores. You're not just selling your skills, you're selling the image of someone destined to win. And if you fumble, nobody notices if you sell the recovery with enough swagger. This isn't about lying. It's about becoming. Pretend long enough, and the gap between performance and reality collapses. Charisma is less about dazzling people with words and more about bending their will without them noticing. Pfeffer is blunt. If you can't get people on your side, you're done. Influence isn't optional, it's the currency of power. The trick? Understand what makes people tick. Everyone walks around with a neon sign flashing what they want. Some crave status, others want security, and a few just need someone to validate their existence. The more you tune into those signals, the easier it is to lead them exactly where you need them to go. Pfeffer's not telling you to manipulate people maliciously. This is benevolent deception. You give people what they think they want, and in return, you get what you actually need. Rene Rodriguez breaks this down further in Amplify Your Influence. Appeal to emotions first, pathos, flex your expertise, ethos, and sprinkle in logic, logos for good measure. It's psychological sleight of hand, and the crowd never sees it coming. Forget humility. Pfeffer argues that the ability to project power is just as critical as possessing it. Perception beats reality every time. When you walk into a room, own it. Speak louder than necessary. Make eye contact that lingers just a second too long. If you don't, someone else will. Pfeffer isn't advocating for arrogance, but he's clear. Confidence is contagious, and the crowd follows the loudest voice. This isn't just theory. Studies show people perceive angry, assertive individuals as more competent, even if they aren't. That's right. Get mad, and suddenly you're a genius. Your posture, tone, and even the way you dress craft an aura of dominance that others instinctively respect. You want power? Start by looking like you belong at the top. This is why political debates are more theater than substance. The best actor wins, not the best policy. Conflict is inevitable. Pfeffer doesn't sugarcoat it. You're going to step on toes. But here's the kicker. Not every fight is worth your energy. Choose your battles like a strategist, not a brawler. Every confrontation drains your political capital, and you've got a finite supply. Pick the fights that advance your position and let the petty squabbles slide. The goal isn't to crush everyone in your path. It's to win the fights that matter. When the stakes are low, play the diplomat. But when the prize is significant, when your promotion, project, or legacy is on the line, go to war. George Thompson, the godfather of verbal judo, adds another layer to this. Conflict doesn't always mean aggression. Sometimes the deadliest weapon is listening. People expect combat, but they're disarmed by empathy. Pfeffer's advice: don't just win. Make sure they thank you for the beating afterward. When you're staring down the maze of career ladders, don't waste time climbing the wrong one. Pfeffer lays it out plain: where you start dictates how far you can go. Pick the wrong department, and you'll be buried in obscurity no matter how hard you hustle. The trick? Aim for the power centers. Walk into a company and immediately clock which departments hold the most sway. Is marketing the golden child? Is finance pulling the strings behind the curtain? Pfeffer says follow the money. Starting salaries, proximity to top brass, and the status of the department head are dead giveaways. If the VP of your department gets a seat at the executive table, congratulations, you've chosen wisely. But don't be fooled. Sometimes the path of least resistance lies in smaller, less glamorous corners of the organization. Fewer gatekeepers, less competition. Power thrives in neglected soil, waiting for someone with enough audacity to claim it. Most people play by the rules, which is exactly why they stay stuck. Pfeffer laughs in the face of conformity. If you want to stand out, break something. Not recklessly, but strategically. Take on responsibilities that aren't yours. Offer ideas even when nobody asks. Sure, you might step on toes, but as Pfeffer points out, rule followers rarely make history. This isn't about rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's about visibility. Ask your boss for advice on projects you're not involved in. Why? Because when things heat up, your name will be the one echoing in their mind. Asking for help isn't a weakness. It's a Trojan horse that puts you in their orbit. Warren Berger nails this in a more beautiful question. Curiosity isn't just endearing, it's magnetic. The more you ask, the more valuable you become. Forget pride. The future belongs to those bold enough to inconvenience the right people. Networking isn't schmoozing over overpriced cocktails. It's survival. Pfeffer's blunt. Forget deep friendships. Weak ties are your real ticket to power. The more casual connections you gather, the more opportunities you'll stumble into. Strong ties, close friends, and family can only introduce you to the same handful of people. Weak ties, on the other hand, crack open entirely new social universes. Pfeffer isn't asking you to fake friendships, just to expand your sphere of influence. Be present. Go to that random fundraiser. Grab lunch with that colleague you barely know. It's a numbers game, and the goal is volume, not intimacy. Rabbi Daniel Lapin echoes this in Thou Shalt Prosper. Kindness creates its own gravitational pull. People remember generosity, and one day, that loose connection might hand you the golden key you didn't know you needed. Power comes with a price tag, and Pfeffer doesn't hide it. The moment you rise, you become a target. Every move is scrutinized, every word dissected. Think Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or any politician on Earth, the spotlight doesn't switch off. But here's the kicker. Paranoia isn't just part of the game. It's the game. Pfeffer warns that the more influence you wield, the harder it is to trust the people around you. Are they allies or opportunists? Genuine or just riding your coattails? Trust becomes a scarce resource, which is why powerful people rarely hand it out freely. The upside? This awareness keeps you sharp. Pfeffer's advice is cold but effective. Don't grow too attached. Build power, but guard it with vigilance. The wolves will always circle, but as long as you stay 2 steps ahead, they'll never catch you slipping. The addiction to power is as real as any drug, and Pfeffer warns against losing yourself to it. Climbing to the top feels like an endless high, but sooner or later the cracks start showing. You stop chasing goals and start chasing the thrill of dominance itself. Felix Dennis calls this out too. Money, influence, and control will pull you under if you're not careful. But there's a way out. Pfeffer says the trick is recognizing when the game stops serving you. If power becomes the goal rather than the means, it's time to walk away. Leave the stage while the applause is still loud. Channel your energy into something else, a cause, a passion, a new obsession. Power is intoxicating, but true strength lies in knowing when to step aside and let someone else carry the torch. That's the playbook, folks. Jeffrey Pfeffer's power isn't for the faint-hearted, and frankly, neither is the world. But armed with this knowledge, you can stop waiting for the universe to hand you what you deserve and start grabbing what's yours. Don't forget, power doesn't discriminate. It belongs to those who dare to take it. So, if you're ready to drop the just world fantasy and step into the driver's seat, consider this your battle cry. Thanks for sticking with me through this twisted roller coaster. Hit like, subscribe, and let's keep this power grab going. See you at the top or not. Your move.